Welcome. This is episode number 11 of Going Fishing with Brett Raymer from Tank. Look at you two. Where are you guys at right now?
Oh, man, we got a special episode today. I'm super excited. We are here at the grand opening of my new restaurant in Las Vegas. And Agnes and I didn't want to miss it today, so I invited her down. And we're doing the podcast live from the restaurant. So if you hear a couple of chicken parms, a few pizzas, and a few meatballs, you know what it is.
Agnes, yeah, you look beautiful as always. It's such a treat to see you. I know you were at the restaurant this past Monday. How was the food? Pretend Brett's not there. How was the food? How was the experience?
The food is really, really good. I love Italian. I love pizza. You can't go wrong with bread and cheese, right?
Nope.
And it's phenomenal. I'm not just saying that because he's here. I'm really.
No, you know, if it wasn't good, she would be telling me the truth. She'd be like, the pizza was terrible.
I would tell him.
And I like that line there. You can't go wrong with bread and cheese. You cannot go wrong with bread and cheese.
You cannot go wrong with bread and cheese.
It's great to see you guys. And today, I'm excited about today because we're going to break down season 15, episode number 7. It's called Healing Garden Waterfall. It was episode number 150 overall, and it aired December 7th, 2018. I'll read the description, the IMDb description. Lifestyle brand Salt Life needs Wade and Brett's help again. This time, they want an aquarium even bigger and better than the original. And then closer to home, the guys are asked to build a custom acrylic waterfall as part of a memorial in Las Vegas. It was kind of an emotional episode with you guys building part of that tribute to 1 October.
Yeah. Without a doubt. I mean, you know, living in Las Vegas and having, you know, a terrible tragedy like that happen on our own turf, you know, where we live, we kind of hit home, you know, and the way the whole thing just went down, you know, we did a tank with Jason Aldean and we all got invited to that concert. So there was an opportunity, for us to go to that concert. And obviously we all decided not to go, thank God. But, you know, there could have been a chance that Agnes, myself, or somebody from the show could have been at that. You know, obviously with the will of God, you know, we weren't. But it was just a senseless, terrible tragedy that never should have happened.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. We were all supposed to go to that. And I remember
that's crazy.
I kept going to Lake Mead with my brother and my sister-in-law and my nephew. And I got home at 8:30 p.m. and then I fell asleep, and at 9 p.m. the shooting happened, and I was passed out because I was asleep just from being at the lake all day. My family thought I was at this concert. So
yeah, I had a buddy come in and visit, and he was staying at Mandalay Bay. He left me, went right to Mandalay Bay, and he was wound up being caught in the lobby when the whole thing was going on. And he had been at my house like a couple of hours before that. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go check the concert. I was like, yeah, I'm going to stay home. I'm kind of tired.
Wow. That's incredible idea. And I had no idea. I've seen that before, the waterfall and stuff. I've seen it downtown. I honestly, I didn't know. This is the first time I've seen this episode. I didn't know that was your guys' work, and it's beautiful stuff that you guys did. And it's kind of interesting watching this episode because we're so far into the show. There's kind of a new energy about it. There's a new high energy show open when you watch this season. Can you, like, Brett, do you know the original show open? Can you recite that off the top of your head?
Yeah, we're two New Yorkers who moved to Las Vegas to follow our dreams.
Yes,
We build underwater worlds like no one's ever seen.
And what's Wade's line? I was forced into this relationship. I married Brett's sister.
That's right.
Yes. Yep. I was forced into this family.
I was forced into this relationship.
Yeah.
I married Brett's sister, Heather.
Yeah.
It's classic. Well, the episode opens with Wade. He's feeding his fish, and he's talking about the special King formula, talking about making his own fish food. We eventually see a demo for the fish food at the end of the episode. Did your guys' fish food ever take off, or was it just something we saw on this episode?
No, so it's something that we did on the episode, and it never actually made it to the marketplace. There was some hiccups in between. And like I said, that was around the tail end of when the show was ending, 150. Obviously, we made it to 156. So it just didn't pan out the way we wanted it to.
Now, on this one, you fly to Florida you're doing a second build for Salt Life Food Shack. How big was repeat clients for you guys? Did you guys get a lot of repeats? You build one tank, they want something bigger and badder?
Yeah, I mean, always. When you do a good job for them, some people, they're like, we have another project. You know, the key is to do the first one right. Anytime you do it right the first time, and people are going to always come for number 2, number 3, you know, if they want something. But you don't do it right the first time, they're never going to use you again.
I'm going to pepper in some viewer questions that I picked up on social media. And here's a viewer question I'm just going to drop in, talking about celebrity builds. Was a celebrity ever upset with a build that you guys did for them?
Yes.
Expand.
Chris Angel.
Well, Chris Angel wasn't really upset with the build. He was more upset with the aspect like we had talked about before. But I don't think that anybody's been really, really upset with the build. I know that there was some issues.
Longer
I know.
Anticipated.
I know Kevin Smith had a few issues with his turtle aquarium. I don't know exactly what happened, but there was something that had happened. But look, you can't, when you build as many aquariums as we do, you can't please everybody. I mean, you try your hardest, but at the end of the day, no matter, you always have that one customer or that one person that you just can't please.
Would you agree, Agnes?
Absolutely. You can't please everyone. You know that, JC.
We try. Do me a favor, Agnes, when you lean forward when you talk so we can pick up your microphone for Agnes.
Okay.
Yeah. Just anytime you talk to it, just lean forward. Here's another viewer question, and I'm intrigued about this one. Did you guys hang out during the off season when you're not filming? Did you guys hang out and spend downtime together?
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely Agnes, myself. I wouldn't say so much Wade and Heather as much. Once in a blue moon.
But the crew did.
Yeah. We hung out with the crew. We hung out with, you know, each other. We went to dinners, had drinks. I would go to each other's houses. And like I said, even till this day, I mean, we haven't been on the show in years, and Agnes and I still hang out. Obviously, podcasting. We do dinners. We go, you know, we hang out. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're still friends with the production.
Family. We're family. We're always family, not even friends. We're family.
Yeah.
And it comforts me to see that too, because I've got to go know you guys well over the past couple of months here, and they're hanging out, they had lunch together, they're at Brett's new restaurant together, so you guys do hang out behind the scenes, which is really cool. On this episode, Brett, we see you back on a boat. Did you get seasick on this one again?
No, I don't think I got seasick on this one. It wasn't as bad as the last one, I don't think. I only remember the Guy Harvey episode getting really, really sick. I did have a little rocky, you know, but I think I got smart in this episode and Dramamined it up.
Yeah.
I had it like both ears, like my forehead, back of my neck, underneath my shorts. I think I had it everywhere, bro. I swear. I can't.
Did you really have that bad?
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh,
I was like the nicotine patch on like times 12.
So you don't go.
You can see it in the and Brett, you can see it in the episode. It's so funny. I caught that you got on the boat and I see the patches behind your ear. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, I got smart, man. I patched up a couple of days before. But the thing is that I can go, like, if we went to the lake on a regular boat, that's no problem. It's when you start getting the big ones. That's where it really gets me wheezy.
Now, in early 2019, Brett, you did an interview with the local Fox affiliate here in town, and you mentioned in the interview that Animal Planet pulled the plug on the show on December 20th, 2018. And then you talk about doing a YouTube show with Wade called Lifestyles of the Fish and Famous. How close did you guys ever come to getting that YouTube show off the ground?
So what's really funny is I just talked about this past weekend at a convention, you know. I give these YouTubers a lot of credit, man, you know, because when I wanted to do that, JC, I mean, you know, me and you have worked together on filming shows. You know how it is. When you try to do it yourself, you have to do the cameras. You got to do the editing. You got to be the producer. You got to be the audio guy. You got to be everything. And then you got to go home and edit it and then put it together and make a show. Man, I didn't realize how difficult making a YouTube show was. So we shot a couple of scenes with Steve Aoki. And then after I realized how difficult it was going to be, I just didn't think that it was going to be worth the value.
Brett's not trying to do all that work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's shorten it up. I'm not really trying to do all that work. Let's not cut through the story.
Yeah, there was this long, drawn-out thing. Let's be honest. We know you, man. It's a lot of work.
Let's be honest. Yeah, I can't lie.
Well, if the show did not go on hiatus, because it went on a hiatus, the show didn't go on hiatus, when would you have started filming again? This season is wrapping up, Christmas time of 2018. When would you guys started filming the next season?
January 2019. February.
Oh, you really?
Late January, early.
We couldn't film. There wasn't enough time in the year to film. They wanted every year 20 plus episodes. So if you think we got 6 the first year, we wound up getting 20 plus every other year. So, I mean, if they had enough time, they would have taken 30 if they would have been able to do it.
Mm-hmm. And then it was about a year later in December of 2019, Wade and Heather were all over social media teasing that ATM is getting a makeover, a new location, and a new TV show was coming in 2020. Can you tell us more about this? Were they close to kind of going off on their own and doing their own show?
That I wasn't a part of that. I had left in 20.
Yeah, it was called Death by Marriage.
No.
Oh, family.
Oh my God, we were already gone. How can you do a show by then when we're gone?
I was gone. I left in 18. Yeah, I left in 2018. So I was already gone at that time. I really hadn't kept in touch at all by that point. I just needed a break.
Yeah.
I had left right around the same time Agnes had left. And then once I had left, I was like, how they doing a show without Brett and Agnes? And without just, I mean,
it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same dynamic. It's not the same show. It would just be some other show. It wouldn't be that show. Yeah.
Whose idea was it to work with the healing gardening? So again, it was a special thing you guys did. Was that something that the producers came up with, or did the people behind the garden reach out to you on that one?
People behind the garden, actually, this gentleman by the name of Jay, who was the landscape architect at the time, came to us and asked us if we would be wanting to work with the healing garden. And we came to them and said, hey, would there be an opportunity of us filming this for our television show? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. So we got special permission from the city, and we were able to, put it on our TV show. It was great. I mean, just like I said, just to be down there, and I know people that were in the tragedy. We had friends and family that had family members that were killed, in the tragedy. So to be able to be a part of it and be able to donate and give something back that's going to be standing in our community for a really long time was extra special.
It was very special to that. There was not a dry eye when we were doing that. So it still is very special to all of us.
Yeah, watching the episode, you feel the emotion come through the screen, and then obviously being here in Las Vegas, anytime you talk about that, those emotions come back. This episode aired in December. Did you try to get it on earlier so the episode is airing around the anniversary, or that stuff is out of your hands?
That's out of our hands. I think that remember, all that was filmed on the anniversary.
Yeah.
So
we actually went there. We actually went there, and the mayor, right?
Yeah, I mean, during the whole time you saw, obviously, in the episode, the whole thing was filmed that day. We had the town, the mayor, everybody was there. So by the time they got that footage and were able to edit it, process it, et cetera, it didn't come out until December.
Which seems like a quick turnaround. Yeah, I mean, we obviously, it was filmed on the anniversary 1 October. The show airs less than 2 months. That's a fast turnaround for an episode, is it not?
Yeah.
We had quicker up turnarounds.
What was your fastest turnaround on an episode?
Well, I know they needed episodes done in like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, they needed episodes done. Like, they were like, guys, we need to do this episode. It has to launch. It's airing. It needs to be done.
Well, and that also depended on the sponsors, no?
Well, it depends. Sometimes depending on the sponsors, because sponsors wanted certain things to air during certain time frames, et cetera, et cetera. Like if we had Dairy Queen in it, or we had FedEx in it, or we had somebody inside the episode, sometimes it was part of their contract that it needed to be aired during a certain period of time because of what was going on in
their company.
Within their company, right.
Okay, got it. Here's a great viewer question. How and when did Agnes start working for you guys?
So this is a funny story. I was working at Ferrari over at the Wynn. The Wynn had Ferrari. Do you remember this, JC?
Yeah, oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was working there, and Wade came by because he wanted a Porsche. And I said, well, I don't have a Porsche here, but I can find you one. So I got to chatting with Wade, and he said, hey, so I have this aquarium place. You want to come check it out? You want to get into sales? And I kind of wanted to get out of that job because it was a weekend job. I was working Saturday, Sunday, and I think I was 28, 29 at the time. And I didn't want to work weekends. I wanted to go out on the weekend. So I said, well, is this 9-to-5 job? I don't know how to make aquariums. What do you need? You need help around the office? What do you need? He's like, well, I'll teach you. And so I went.
She went from swap Ferraris to selling aquariums.
I did. I went in there. I went into the office, which was a complete dump. Dump. And everyone was in one room with a bird in the center squawking. And he goes, well, this is it. And so we're going to teach you how to estimate pool panels. I said, okay. And then that's how it started. And I learned how to estimate pool panels. And what did the other side of there was the aquarium business, and then there was the pool panel side, which is like the big panels you see in zoos and aquariums,
SeaWorld
and all of that. And then also a lot of residential pools, when you have those infinity edge pools that are all clear. That was my side. That wasn't really shown on the show at all. But I started doing that. I learned that side of the business, and then I ran with that. And I was with them for 12 years doing that.
Brett, what was your first impression when Wade comes back and says, I met this girl, she tried to sell me a Porsche, her name is Agnes, I want her to work here. What was your first impression of her?
No, Agnes was cool. I mean, like I'm going to be honest, like ever since the day Agnes walked in, like we were always cool with each other. We were always friends. She became my television wife, really quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And still to this day, people are like, so how's Agnes doing? I'm like, oh yeah, she's doing great. I'm like, they're like, they still think she's my wife to this day. It's funny.
Brett,
and I could be with Melinda and they'll be like, yeah, hey, how's Agnes doing? I'm like, yeah, she's doing great.
When I first came on, Brett had just had Bryce. You just had a baby.
Yeah. So my son's 15 now. So think about yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That is the first thing that pops up when you start to Google either one of your names is Brett married to Agnes? Is Agnes married to Brett? It's so funny. That's the first thing that pops up on a Google search.
Well, like, people can go back in episode 1 and, they could hear all the stories about like what we recapped and talked about how the funny things between me and Agnes and what happened in the beginning. So, but like I said, we've been friends ever since, and still to this day, we've been like brother and sister.
Yep. And just to let everyone know, I've never been married.
Yeah. Never been married.
Never married?
Almost
a few times.
Have you been engaged before?
Twice, right? Right? Engaged twice, right? Yeah.
During the show?
No,
yeah,
no, not during the show.
No, she broke their hearts.
Heartbreaker. The
Heartbreaker aquarium mix.
That could be a shirt right there. So for this install, the Salt Life install, you guys fly out there to Florida and it seemed like such a secondary thing, the Salt Life build. It was so much focused on the 1 October build, which I think as it should be, it was such a special thing. But you guys fly out for this build. You're supposed to get there during the day to install it. Your flight's delayed by 4 or 5 hours. You get there at night. Do you have any travel stories you want to share? Was that an issue if you're flying in for a build and you miss a flight? Share some travel stories with us.
So when we first season 1, 2, and 3, we traveled not first class. We traveled however they could get us. It didn't matter how they got us, sitting in the middle, late night flights, cargo plane, train, planes, automobiles. It didn't matter, right? So once we became successful, then they started flying us around first class.
For the record, I never flew first class once.
Well, the thing is I'll give you a travel story. So season 1, we planned a big, huge grand opening premiere party at Johnny Brendan, where Heather got, we put her in the Shark Tank, and she went into Brendan's theater, and he had the big Shark Tank in his office. So we had a big party. We rented, Johnny let us use the place. We had 35 people, 50, 100 people coming. Wade and I are on the plane, getting ready to come on in. And the plane gets delayed, and we wound up missing the whole party, grand opening. We wound up getting stuck in, I think it was Chicago, at the W Hotel. And never made it to the season 1 premiere party.
No, but there were a lot of instances like that where they lived in the airport. That not only did Wade and Brett basically, because they traveled the entire time, but our whole production crew basically, they all had American Express lounge passes because they were in and out of the airport so much that it just became a way of life.
Yeah, I mean, we traveled so much, and then once the first class kicked in, it was better. But the long story short is it's still, when you had to travel from one build to the next, sometime we were gone 10 days, like the Salt Life tank. If it extended, we had to extend because if the tank's not finished and you have problems, you can't shoot the reveal. If you can't shoot the reveal, you have to be there. So if my guys don't get it done in 2-3 days, and then all of a sudden day 5 comes and they're not done, I can't go home. I'm stuck.
You need that closing shot in every tank.
You needed that closing shot for every tank.
Yeah.
You do see a transition, and it's great. It shows your success. But I'm watching this episode. I see Brett's got some fancy jeans on. Wade's got some jewelry. You're seeing the successes. You're both still the common men, but you're seeing the successes peek through. You had some nice fancy jeans going on. You see the success of the show, which is well deserved, by the way.
Well, I wasn't showing up to the tragedy with shorts on.
True. Good point.
But also too is, I'm going to be honest, look, the show, we did really, really well. And everybody's life changed because of the TV show. I'm extremely grateful for everything that I, have done in life and where I am today. And it's enabled me to do things like sitting in my restaurant today. You know, without that TV show, I would never have been able to open up this restaurant. So I'm thankful. My kids are well, you know, everything's good. And look, if buying a pair of jeans, I think that, like, you know, the experience was what really was the ultimate goal here, and the legacy. And that's what I think we did. And to me, no matter what it gave me that experience. You know, yes, it made me money. Yes, it, you know, made us celebrities, but overall it was the experience of what we did is what made this super special.
I agree. I completely agree with that. My life's completely different because of this show. I don't know what would have happened if Wade never came in that night. I mean, my life could have, I could have, who knows what would have happened, yeah. Right? I wouldn't have been on the show. I never joined their company thinking there would ever be a show. That all just fell into our laps. I mean, Brett Bush, it fell into our laps, and it changed my life for the better. There were a lot of good times, a lot of bad times, but in the end, the entire experience made me who I am. And I'm very grateful for
an opportunity. It opens up a lot of doors.
And as you can see, JC, and I think a lot of people who see us, we're always willing to try something new. We don't have closed minds when it comes to creating anything, because that's the fun part of it. Like, we started this on a whim, and we're kind of just flying by the seat of our pants, but it's fun and it's cool, and you never know in life where if you open your mind, where it's going to take you.
I always tell people, if you don't try, you're never going to know.
You never know.
So, you know, we never would have met if it wasn't for the show. Us, you too. I mean, you're in news. You came out to cover me. I've seen you at multiple events throughout the years. You've been in my house for different events, whether it was DJ Ashbo, whether it was this, whether it was that. I mean, you know, like I said, we've become friends. And for that, we're grateful. So I look at it as all of the people that we've met, like yourself and Agnes, and, you know, it's just amazing. It's just, the show has opened up so many doors, and every day it does. It opens another door every day. And that's what's crazy, is because, you know, you'll see a new customer that'll walk in the restaurant and goes, "Oh my God, I love your show." And then all of a sudden, that's a conversation that gets me into something else.
It's a conversation starter for sure. Like, once the people realize that, oh, you're that girl. Oh yeah, that you remember that episode, and it gets you going into whatever conversation that may be. But overall, I'm completely grateful for the show. Absolutely.
It's funny. It's funny, Agnes, too. Like you said, like if you weren't working that night, if you didn't meet Wade, what would happen? And I've had a couple people since this podcast launch asked how my friendship started with you, Brett. And Brett and I go back to when I do a TV show here in town called Las Vegas Now. It's a lifestyle show, and Brett came on as a guest to promote some stuff you were working on. And that's the first time we met. And then it was the summer of 2020, pandemic restrictions just started to lift. And we were signed to go cover a music video that DJ Aspa was doing. And our producer called me. I was on vacation that week. I got off that week. He's like, "Hey, do you want to go cover this video?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go do it. Sounds fun." No idea that I was going to Brett's house. I thought I was going to his studio. I'm like, "Wait, this is the neighborhood." And I go walking into this beautiful home, and there's DJ Aspa, and Brett comes walking up. It's like, "Hey, man." I'm like, "Whoa, what are you doing here?" Like, "This is my house." And that's how our friendship evolved even more. And
it's like, just think about that, right? I met DJ Aspa from the show. DJ needed a house to film a video in. And me and him worked out a deal because we met on the show. I did 2 episodes with him, 2 aquariums. He felt comfortable. He knew about my house, and we worked out a deal. And that was an experience just right then and there from the show.
Is that when you guys met, was during DJ Aspa's
Well, I mean, we knew each other. I had done stuff with Mercedes and him, and we had been on the show. But I mean, and actually, when we actually shook hands and really talked and were able to connect, he's in my house. That was the time.
Oh, well, I'm grateful to have met you, JC. I listen to you every morning, by the way.
Thank you.
I love, you guys honestly make my day brighter. As you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, personally for me as well. And even today, when I was in the shower, I was listening to you, and you guys came up with the cartoon bit where
your favorite cartoons as a kid,
favorite cartoons, and also looking through past photos. It's really helping me. So I want to say thank you to you and the ladies and the show for actually keeping me a little bit saner throughout the day. So thank you.
That means a lot to me. I'll share that with Mercedes when I see her tomorrow morning. Thank you, guys. This has been a very fun episode.
Yeah, the good thing about, you know, like I said, the one thing I love about Las Vegas more than anything is I love that there's 2 degrees of separation. You know, everybody knows somebody that knows somebody here. We have 2.3 million people that all live within 45 minutes of each other. And we have no surrounding barriers outside of Vegas that support our town. So it's really the people within the community that do the supporting here. And like I said, you're a big community supporter. I am, Agnes are. And, you know, meeting people like, you know, all of us and the things. It's great because it's community based, and that's one of the things that we really like. So that's kind of why I opened this restaurant, because I want people from the community to kind of just start rolling in and having some good food.
Yeah, and I'm a huge supporter not only of our community, Las Vegas, but in general, because you guys know me, I'm a huge, proud American with Polish background, and I'm all about just everyone coming together and helping support one another.
Well, especially with, obviously Agnes being from Poland and what's going on in Ukraine right now, it hits her close to home. But like I said, we're all here to support each other. And that's the most important thing that we can do is be supportive, whether it's here in the neighborhood or whether it's for somebody that's over there in another country. So, the show has taken us to many amazing places and also enable us to appreciate what we have as people.
Yeah. Wow. Well said. Well said. Do you want to spin the camera around before we wrap it up? If people listening to the podcast, obviously, but if people watching it, let's give us a nickel tour. We're here in Stallones.
All right, let's do it. Make it through.
This has become a new tradition where Brett gives us a tour on his phone. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. How do I turn this around? Let me switch camera. There you go. You got it. There you go.
All righty, here we go. So you get to come in, you get to order from some kiosks. And then we got the chefs and everybody in the back cooking. And then we got all the TVs, everybody. We got some people eating. We got Golden Knights. You can see we're very big supporters of Las Vegas, local Vegas. We got the Raiders. Got some customers. There we got a little fish tank.
Yeah.
Nice little fish tank, little cichlid tank. And then we got a lot of sports memorabilia from the show. Here's Chef Louie.
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
And there's all the sports memorabilia that you can purchase. We got Johnny Damon, all the stuff from the TV show. We got John Wall. We got Antonio Brown. We got Adrian Peterson, Shaq. So we got some amazing stuff. So we look forward to everybody coming in and joining us.
Wow, that looks amazing, man. It's neat to see. I've seen the progress on social media, kind of when you just had to shell the place, installing the kitchen and stuff. That looks fantastic, Brett. Congratulations, buddy.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to bring Agnes back in so we can sign off and say goodbye to everybody.
Sounds good.
All right, here we go.
Hold on. Here we go. Oops, sorry, JC.
You're good. Well, there we go. I'm looking at the wall.
Oh.
There you guys are. Perfect. That was neat. Looks awesome. Perfect. Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate it.
We look forward to seeing you next episode.
Yes. Next episode. We'll see you
some
again.
meatballs.